to the Rick Sikin Show. I am Rick Beery, your host, talking about all the nonsense in our community. And that I am. Today we have Isaac Jones with us, back again. Closer?
Yeah.
Closer?
That's there.
All right. And, in the intro, I really miss hearing the music, but I think there was like sound problems with it. So now it's like you see this blank screen. And I don't get to hear my
Usually drums when
my college band's jam, the garage band back in the day. But anyway, here we are. Welcome to the show.
Let's talk first about Beery Construction. What are you guys? They took a few day break, but what's next on the list?
Oh, I have a remodel coming up. I'm just waiting on the go on that. So probably next week I'll have a full remodel.
Nice. And
paint, flooring, paint, kitchens, bathrooms, the whole 9 yards.
Like 2-story, 3-story.
1 story.
You did one with an elevator recently.
Yeah, the elevator house. Yeah, and put a log cabin shop on that guy's house.
That's right. Yeah.
Really great people. But yeah, doing lots of random stuff. You think what? Sometimes I'm like, I should specialize, but I totally love doing like the variety.
Each day is different.
And I think it's my ADD. I really enjoy, like, if I had to do roofing every day, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it'd be like an assembly line. And so that kind of gets old for me. But like roofing one day, framing another day, doing this and that, flooring, it gives me a variety, which I truly love.
This guy did it with broken ribs too. Like he was swinging a hammer. What do you have, 2 cracked ribs?
Like 3. They're pretty like ganky looking, and it took me like a week to get like an X-ray with some chiropractor. Like I'm not going to the doctor. I just wanted to know. It's like I don't know what they really do for broken rib unless you puncture like an organ or something. It's like.
I mean, but who uses organs anymore? It's all piano.
Yeah, it's all donated anyway.
Oh, that kind of organ.
Or organ donor. I'm not dead yet. Hold on, someone needs this more important than me.
So I went to GTA today to get my wheelchair certified so they can pick me up at my house.
Yeah.
Take me to Walmart. And the producer and me for the show, they're going to come on the show actually.
Oh, yeah.
GTA is going to come and talk about what they do, and I think that'll be great.
Grand Theft Auto?
No. Grand Transit Authority.
Tomato.
Before we get to our guest, though, speaking of tomato, today's soup at Rick's is tomato basil and hamburger stew.
Yeah.
Or you can get soup and sandwich. Get a grilled cheese sandwich and a bowl of soup for $9.99. So come warm up with some soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. And I noticed you're doing a lot of changing here. You made the bathroom smell better. And what else is going on here?
We installed some park fans, folks. To reduce the third wonder of the world that people have dealing with.
Everything's a wonder of the world now today.
Yes, I did make a crazy video today about that cell tower that's like a clock.
Yeah,
it's super ugly.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have the cell tower, and I was like, the 7th wonder of Moses Lake. Yeah. And then the guy's like, my cell phone service still sucks. And it totally does down here.
Oh yeah.
And I'm downtown, I'm like, it's the worst. Like
it's worse than downtown Seattle.
Yeah. So I come to Rick, so we got a couple routers rolling. I can switch between routers and get all the cell service I love. Make things happen around here.
Yes,
yeah. It's just crazy. So don't be offended. I think it's funny.
Hey, one other thing, Rick, we had him on the show, but Joel Graves, he actually ended up winning city council.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So congratulations, Joel, to the Rick Sikin Show.
You came on the Rick Sikin Show and then you won. I'll take all the credit for that.
Hey, Kevin Burgess won. He was on our show.
Yeah, on our show too. So, I don't know. To teach their own,
To teach their own.
To teach your young.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought you were making a Cheech and Chong reference.
Oh man. Oh, what else is happening in the world? I don't pay too much attention. It's just so much noise. And like I say, if I close my eyes and just work and do my thing, I don't notice it too much, all the side effects going on. But I have noticed some renters are having a little trouble with it because they're like, they were getting foods, assistance, 300, $600, whatever it is a month. And now they're like, we may not get that. How am I going to pay my rent? Do I pay rent or feed my kids? And I was like, well, so that's,
Come to the food bank.
yeah, I have seen, you know, a couple concerns there, I guess, seen it firsthand. Dang. Um, so I feel pretty fortunate. But for my position, yeah, I mean, we're doing the veterans free meals for Veterans Day. We have Thanksgiving as kind of my focus, um, and a lot of people weren't getting their funding till a week or so into this. So um, I don't think the chaos is fully hit yet. But we'll see how it goes. I'm like, I have compassion for the people that are dealing with this. I also have compassion for the people that work hard and like don't get any assistance. So like, you know, um, it's like I don't see it as right or wrong. It's just the system that we live in. So it's like, how do you manage that? But there's several coffee stands doing little covers. They have little things out so you can come and take some food. Bella Vita's doing it. I think Favorite Farmhouse is doing it. So um, there's options around town if you need a little assistance. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of neutral on it because it's like there's two sides.
I'll turn on the news from time to time just to see. But like you said, it's the same old story every time I turn on the news. I was like, yeah, seeing it, click.
Yeah. No, I think we have a lot of changes coming up, but it's like just buckle up, be wise with what you have, because I think it's not going to be an easy. There's going to be bumps in the road. And before Trump was even elected, I was like, it doesn't matter who's elected. There are huge things happening. The lifespan of the fiat currency coming to the end of the life cycle. So I'm like, pay attention to crypto because that might be one of the solutions they present. The economy crashing, I was like, it's gonna have problems no matter what. And so I'm not totally surprised by the chaos going on. So um, just be wise,
Yeah,
be a good steward of the little that you have.
it's true.
So
One thing, folks, too, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. You're on TikTok, right?
I'm on TikTok.
Facebook and Rumble and X. So you want to come and join the show, watch us live. I got the stream open for comments, and it worked best on YouTube. So if you want to send in a chat, I can ask those questions. I'm really good about doing that, I think. Other than that, if you need your car worked on, Brothers Automotive 7619744. Again, Brothers Automotive 7619744. No job too big, no job too small. Save some money if you need to. They can work it out when they pick up your car at your work or your home, work on it, and bring it back to you. Last time, Brothers Automotive 509-761-9744.
All right. Well, let's jump to Isaac Jones. We don't want to leave him in the shadows too long. This is his second time on the show. Isaac's a local boy, and he's out doing different things. And I think, a fumble here and there, but he's out doing stuff. So, Isaac, you have a children's facility that you run, and you were just telling me about running down to Tri-Cities to open up a project, and it didn't go so well. Can you share with us that story? It's not fun to talk about our when we trip and fall, but let's pick on you a little bit.
Exactly. I think that's what life's about, though. You got your ups and you got your downs. But if you don't take the risk, you'll never know, right?
Yeah.
So I went up to Tri-Cities. We were trying to open up a child care center up there. My wife and I, we put in 7 months of hard work and got everything going, got all the licenses and everything. And it looked good. Everything looked good. And then once 7 months hit, they said the city council called us and said, we need to have a meeting. Said, okay. We went down there, we talked with them, and they told us that the planning commission is denying our license because we're within 1,000 feet of a marijuana dispensary. And it's funny because how they measure it, we were 1,000 feet away, but because we were opening it in a church and their parking lot was all the way up to the front of the road, they just measured from where the parking lot ended to where theirs started. And it was like,
so property line to property.
yes, property line to property line.
Greed to me.
Is it greed? It's like,
They get more taxes on marijuana than they do childcare.
but I think it's the code of, whether you want to open a bar or this or that, they want, you got to be so far from a school.
That's true, but they're, like he said, the parameters got to be spelled out properly.
And I don't know what the reasoning is. Is it are they afraid the parents are going to take a detour on the way home?
That's what I was wondering too.
Like, what is the real reason for the spacing, or does it have to do with, hey, in this area we're developing whatever light industrial or commercial or whatever, and we want to separate these things.
Let me ask you this question: how many in-home daycares are by them dispensary within 1,000 feet?
I didn't look into that. But then the other thing is they have a church right there and they have a childcare not a childcare, but on Sundays when they have church, kids are in those rooms.
So basically your plan was, hey, there's a church facility, I'm guessing here, and they're not used during the week. So can I, pay a little rent and have a facility for a win-win?
Yes.
To have a daycare or a child facility. At a church that's pre-existing. Interesting. Now, I mean, I know from experience, that, as you work with the cities and all that, you run into problems. And they didn't give you any solution or whatever. Cause I mean, I had an issue with the city and it took a couple of years to resolve. And we finally got it resolved and came to some common ground. And some people came and left in the city, and that helped tremendously. And now I'm back up and running doing comedy shows where they were, my designation was getting bumped around depending what activity I did. So now we have comedy shows and some dancing again. So that was a cool thing for me, but it was a frustrating couple of years, I guess. I mean, are you done with that deal? Are you still willing to communicate with the city?
Well, I mean, and your changes that you've made out here, it looks really good. When I walked through there, I was like, wow, this is nice. But no, the city council told us that it wouldn't, pass, that they'd have to change the laws, and you know how long that takes. So
that's true. It could be a few years to change the laws or have an exemption. It's tough because you have the city council and they're trying to learn the rules as they get into the whole process. And then you have the city management. The city, from my understanding, the city manager can trump any decision that's made in the city. But they don't want to
strong merit that is.
But they don't want to take too much liability, so they're like, well, the fire marshal said this, or the planning department said this, or that, so for me, I had to bolt down seating as a loophole to be a theater, which is exempt from a sprinkler system. Originally I wanted to bolt down tables, a bunch of stuff, not bolted tables. I did a variety of events, but I ended up having to bolt down a couple of benches. And they worked with me at the end to find those loopholes. But it, like I say, it took a couple of years of rolling my eyes and
did some fundraising too, right?
Just let me do my business. Let me conduct business. But yeah, I mean, the city manager, I mean, he can't, even though he's somewhat the boss and he could trump anyone's decision, they still have to play nice, and there's politics behind the scenes. You don't want to just be like, hey, let's work with this guy. We do have a need for childcare in our community. But I'd say if you haven't given up on it, I would, occasionally.
Well, he's back now.
Yeah, I'm back here running my childcare's here, so
You're like, screw that place, and then go back.
My favorite story is that he told us. He taught a preschooler, and I'm not going to steal the show on that one, but I think everyone needs to hear that story. That's really cool. What happened this weekend and what happened? How many years ago was he in preschool?
he when I first started in 2009 or 2010, I was his preschool teacher at Head Start. That's where I first became a preschool teacher. His name is Donnie Darrow, and we I was, he grew up, he came through my anti-bullying class. So, he had that base that I gave him growing up. And then just about 3 months ago, when I got back, um, one of my fighters, Heido Villasenor, was like, "Hey, I'm ready to go. Let's get to training and let's fight." And so I said, "Okay." We got back in the gym, we started training, and then Donnie hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I see you guys are training. Can I come in?" And I was like, "Yeah, get in here." And he came in, started training, and then uh, it was only 3 months, and I was like, "Hey, you want to fight this weekend?" And he messaged me back. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to be ready. I've only been training for 3 months right
You're
now.
never ready.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never ready.
And then he messaged me that night and he said, "Let's do this." And I was like, "All right, that's a fighter's heart right there. That's all I need." And yeah, we finished out the training camp. We went up to Northern Quest this weekend, and he won his fight. He went 3 rounds and won by TKO. It was just so crazy because when I look at him, I think of that young little preschooler that I'm telling, "Don't hit your friends," we got to be nice. And now I'm telling him, "Hit him, hit buddy." And
the hypocrisy in this is pretty, working with these kids. It's kind of a weird twist to be like, I'm helping kindergartners, don't fight. And then when you grow up, let me train you some MMA and put you in the ring. Like I had him before he could walk.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah. I grew this kid.
Yeah. So I guess it makes me feel my age. But it also, it's like the years of what I've done with preschool, my anti-bullying, and my gym all coming together in one. It was really a touching moment.
It's just our brain is like, how do I process this? No preschooler to fight.
Yes.
What's the number one rule? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's interesting. Do you have any other students that have gone into MMA with you, or you just?
Yeah, I've had ones come and train and different stuff, but he's the first one that has come from my preschool class that's actually been a fighter. And then it was funny because right after the fight, I ran into the cage and I told him, I was like, "You did awesome. That's exactly what you were supposed to do. You went and you fought all 3 rounds and then you took him out in the end. And, I'm so proud of you. Are you ready to go again?" Just the look on his face. He was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then he told me when we were in the back after it was over, he was like, "Oh man, I've been wanting to do this all my life, and I just wanted to be a fight. Oh, I am a fighter now." And just laugh.
Like now I'm real fighter. Yeah. Until you, I guess, get in the ring, you're not really you're a hobbyist, I guess. There's a difference. Yeah, when everything's on the line. Yeah.
Can we send that Rick over and do an amateur night? You guys can fight him?
With his ribs hurt, I don't think you want to be.
Oh, that's my one.
Oh, okay.
I feel no pain. Pain is just cartilage leaving the body.
He was trying to get me into trouble, so I'm trying to.
As long as they don't do that cradle position, I hate that thing.
Yeah.
I have anyway, in Iraq, I kind of broke my back, so my spine's half, like an inch out of place. And I'm very capable. I do a lot of stuff, but it's hard for me to touch my toes, and they'll rack you up, and they'll be like, I was like, yeah, that hurts my back. But I mean, anyway, it's just kind of like, I don't need to be getting wrenched on like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't any like, I'm very average guy, average fighter, whatever.
About 5 inches.
You know,
That's what all good fighters say. This is average till they take someone out.
I'm carrying a strong 4. This average guy, I don't look for a fight, but yeah, it's just every once in a while, life has its adventures.
Unfortunately, yes.
In college, we had this fight club. Back when you had like texting, right? And, before
Being pagers.
pagers, I never had a pager, but it was like, man, this is like 2000. Pre 2000. So yeah, it was like the pager days and stuff. Anyway, it was like this underground thing. And so they would they'd have 3 or 4 fighters. And they just put gloves on you. It was 3 45-second rounds, and like nobody was trained. It was just get in the and they'd meet at random places. They'd be like, "Yeah, we're meeting at the park at this time." So a few hundred people would show up. People would fight for 3 45-second rounds. Another round, there'd be like 4 groups that went in and fought. And we're like, "Yeah, this is fun." And one day they're like, "Rick, you're fighting." And I was like, "What?" I go, I don't fight. They're like, "Well, I signed you up." And I was like, "Dude." So they put me in there, and this guy I was fighting against, he's like, "I'm a street fighter. Can we go like bare knuckles?" I'm like, "No, thank you." Like I don't got much. But I ended up winning him in the first round. Um, he went down the ground like 3 times, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I won that." I was nervous, like, and if you're not, in shape for training like that, you know, uh, 45 seconds, wears you out when you're just going nuts.
Didn't
And
you do your share of fighting too, Isaac?
Well, they call those smoker shows now. If you have those,
just the real
yeah.
quickies.
Mhm.
But I mean, you get trained and you're going 3 minutes, you're going 5 minutes, and I'm like, it's exhausting, and you have to train for this like wild cardio. I don't know what you guys do for that. In the military, we would do grinders, and it was just I did a 3 minute clock run time, and you were like doing burpees, sprints, throwing your sets, back down, push ups, run back, and so your heart rate's just exploding. And people would want to join us. We had the sergeant major want to join us one day. He's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? You guys doing something weird?" Like, "Yeah, I can't hear." And yeah, in like 2 minutes, he was on his knees begging for his life. And I was like, "How awesome is that? I got my sergeant major on his knees." It's just, but it's like you have this like, because you're using all the different muscle groups and all that. So, but I'm sure you guys have something similar you guys do. Like what type of crazy cardio training you guys do when you're prepping for the
So
endurance?
we try and have the guys run at least a mile a day. And in the gym, it's more you're grappling. You don't understand how tired you get when you're just grappling and grappling. And then also just throwing punches, um, call them punches and bunches, just making sure you go until your arms just feel like they're bricks, and you just keep going, keep going. So we just put a lot of time in pushing ourselves in the gym to try and build that cardio up. Because once you get it to a level, uh, you push past that mental point, then it's higher every time. So we just do that.
You might have to have it come by, show you some different stuff. I mean, we were doing crazy stuff. The 45-pound plates, it would be like you'd have to do like a burpee with it, and you'd throw it. And you have to run to it, grab it again, burpee with it, and throw it. And or they'd run with the plate above your head. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
And your arms just burn like the burpee mile. I mean, we just everything. But yeah, it's just a different. I guess. Yeah, it's just crazy. Burst of cardio. Some of the guys fought the all army fights and all that. I wasn't that good. I was just like the fitness Nazi. Like I could grind. That was like my gift in life. When everybody was like falling apart and getting yanked out, I was like, the guy's still like, you can keep going, one more,
Mm-hmm.
So that was my gift, the average, but like I could grind.
Yeah. And I think I respect that so much about you guys in the military is the mindset that you have, because like in fighting, it's hard to find the total package. You got to have a mindset that doesn't break. You got to have the physical ability, and then you have to have the humbleness to be able to listen and learn. Because if you know everything, you're not going to progress because you think that you're just, know everything. And then when you get put to that point that you don't think you have anything left, you need that mindset that just tells you, okay, we're going to just keep going. He's going to have to kill me to get me out of here. And if you get that in a fighter, it's like they're unstoppable.
Yeah, whatever it is, the mental, the natural ability. Anyway, it's crazy, crazy world out there. And there's a huge, I think, need for whatever you call it, competition. Um, you know, I guess a need for fighters in this world. Uh, and, and it's like also having the discipline to be at peace too. And I think that's, the kindergarten, I'm fine, you at peace, but when you gotta bring it out, your control about it, I guess. What else you got going on? So you got the kids thing, Sacred Scars, MMA, and then what do you do with the fishing thing?
So I started a little YouTube channel, Sacred Scars Fishing, and I put it just for the average man who wants to just get out on the lake. I'm all over Moses Lake, Grant County. I hit all the different lakes. I talk about, the different lures I use, styles I use, what I switch up during the times, and built a little community there. I think I got 1,000 something followers, and from all over the world, actually. And they'll be messaging me, asking me, I went out fishing, I didn't get anything. I'm fishing for this kind of fish. What should I use? And I give them little tips, and it's kind of cool hearing them come back and be like, "Oh, I caught a fish, and thanks a lot." And I'm like, "Hey, if that helped you, I'm more. I mean, it was worth it."
So you have people fish with you, or you just fish and display?
I fish with people.
Tour guide.
Yeah, exactly.
Tour guide. Show us the secret spots.
One of the best fishermen I've been with is Joey Zamora. He's a pastor up in Tri Cities.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that I was gonna open up childcare up there at their church, but he is just. I didn't believe him when I first started seeing his posts that he catch 200 fish going out. He literally catches over 200 fish when he goes out to the potholes. It's just one after another after another.
Right after they stopped, or because I'm not a huge fisherman, but I went out with the youth group, and right after they stopped, and he had the boat, and he was trolling, and things would be like, this one takes you down 5 feet, this one 15 feet. He was zipping around, and I was like, fish on, fish on. You just hand the pole to a kid. I was like, gosh, like I've never fished like this before.
Yeah, no, just his techniques. I mean, he's a professional fisherman, but his bass fishing, his walleye fishing, his crappie fishing, it's just, he has everything just so dialed in. And he helped me improve mine. And so then now I've been catching crappie like crazy and was like all year long. I've been going down here to the bridge and I've been hitting crappie and I change up my techniques. I try different stuff and I'll go down there and guys will be like, oh, we've been here all day and I have only got one or a bite. And I'm like, I'll come, bam, 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 hit 10. That's the limit. And I'm like, see you guys later.
So, yeah, awesome. Yeah, tricks of the trade. I grew up in California by the beach, and so like I like the ocean fishing. And my dad, we used to run a beach house every summer. It's a family vacation, and we'd fish right off the beach in the breakers. And so that's kind of like I have a fond memory of that. Then we'd be pulling in stingrays and sharks and all sorts of stuff. And you're like, hey, like, why am I pulling these things in right off the beach?
Swimming with them too.
Like what do you do with the stingrays? Like, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, tricks of the trade. Let them die because like no one wants to step on that. But yeah, it's just, but yeah, it's just everyone has their thing. If I was great at it, but you just do it and catch stuff, have a good time, or go deep sea fishing, take the little boats out, and they rig everything up for you. So yeah, I'm not like crazy. I just kind of go with the flow. I like to do it a few times a year. But there's some people like to do it every day. You know, an everyday guy.
Yes, literally every day.
Do you keep a fishing pole in your car?
You want to go out and look?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a lot of fishing poles in my car. And my wife, she gets mad at me. She's like, because every lake we drive by, I'm like, I bet there's some good fish in there. She's like, we're not stopping.
I'm tired of eating fish.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You may not know this, Rick, but when I had ammonia, but my house is really clean. I'm kidding. Him and his wife helped me out with some really good oxygenized water, and were key in helping me actually beat that as well too. So
Shout out to hydrogen water.
yes, hydrogen water is a good thing. Does your wife still do that?
Yeah, she still does it. It's Kangen machines. They're out of Japan, and they use them as a medical device. And so it just like supercharges the water so that the hydrogens break up into smaller molecules. So they call it hydrogen water. But when you drink it, you feel like it goes into your cells and it gives you energy and it's supposed to flush out toxins. So I'm not trying to sell anything here. I was just saying that's the
hydrogen water today for $9.95. I don't know much about it. It's like interesting.
But you can actually pick up like a bag of it from your wife for how much?
They sell the bags for $3.
It's just like a third world country thing, because the only time I get drinks in bags.
No, it's a you're not dealing with BPO, so that's why these bags they're specifically for water and make sure that the hydrogen stays in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I have a memory. So I lived in Costa Rica for a while, and when you bought a glass bottle of like Coke or whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
Guatemala.
They would pour it in a bag and a straw, and you would just pinch it, and that was your drink, so they could recycle the glass. Yeah, they're like, you're not leaving with that bottle.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a different world. The world's a beautiful place. And just because people do things differently and we like roll our eyes. I was talking to some the Group 14 guys that are going to Korea, getting trained up and working there, doing that battery thing. And so I asked them questions. I'm like, hey, what's it like there in South Korea? I think it's great for everyone to get out of the country for a period of time. And the world's a beautiful place. And just because they do it different doesn't mean they're wrong. And so, like, when I look at the United States, and people be like, if you don't like it here, leave. And I was like, the world's a really cool place. There's pros and cons to every place that you live. In Belize, I had a friend cut themselves and they stitched them up for free. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Nice little medical free healthcare there for basics or whatever, But I was like, oh, that's cool. In Costa Rica or other places, they have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, in the United States, we got a lot of processed stuff. And so I'm like, nice to get away from some of that. But, like every place has its pros and cons. So I don't get so wrapped up that we're the best of the best.
You got all that from water?
Yeah, from water. But like you got guys that, a couple of the guys that are going to South Korea, they're like, I feel like the United States is a third world country. And I was like, you've seen some stuff. He's like, yeah, the bullet trains and this and that. I'm like, their cell phones do stuff, ours don't. And I was like, go to China. Their cars can do things our cars don't. You can click a button on some of their cars and it'll go turn into a skid steer. And so if you're parallel park tight, you think it just do like a 90-degree, and then you can click the button and drive out. I was like, how cool is that? You can really get in a tight spot or out of a tight spot. And just little features, and I've thought about it. I'm taking some tangents here, folks. I've thought about it. I go, does, corporatism slow down innovation? Because you got these big giants that kind of rule the system. And I was like, do patents slow down innovation? You try to do something and you're getting sued, or hey, those are my lyrics, or whatever it is. You got all these things going on, and so um, as you try to do things, right, start a business, you got all these rules to follow here, and some other countries, you have more solopreneurs that can innovate and do stuff, and then it can take traction and move on. But anyway, just things I think about, and I was like, interesting. I go, what is the big difference in the United States falling behind in some of these innovations? Um, and I don't have the exact answer. These are just things how I think are processed.
I've actually been questioning a lot of that too, just because I'm half Mexican. And so,
What?
with
Shocker.
yeah, with all the things going on, with the deportations and everything, I look at that and I'm like, we have such hard workers, Hispanic workers here in America. Why can't they do that in Mexico? Why is Mexico, almost considered a third world country in the way that they're developing, when they have such hard workers that come here and put in the hard long days and all the hard agriculture work? Where's all the money in Mexico? That's one thing.
Where's the money going? And how much money is sent back to Mexico from the United States every month? Yeah. Uh, it, and how far back did it start that things were mistreated or abused? But it's like a lot of people from, I guess, I hate to call third world countries because it's like it's a stereotypical term. Some people say we're no longer first world; we're like 2.5 or something, or 2.0 or 1.5. Like we're losing our first world status because there's a lot of things we don't have. But if you don't get out and see the world, you don't know. You don't know. But like in some countries are mixed. They're like you go to this city and it's like, first world, it's like the future. And then you go out to their provinces, you're like, oh, they don't, they don't have that. So they have their cheap labor there to come in and support the city. So things are kind of many levels to different things. But yeah, like, because in a sense, looking at it from like, I guess, a God point of view or a universe point of view, every person has a certain, like we have this intrinsic value. We're all worth, $1 trillion each or $100 million each per se. But then why does this one person get paid, $1 an hour? This one get 10,000 an hour, and this guy get 20 bucks an hour. What really changed? And it's just this illusion that we live in.
I think value is very important, especially if you're taking credit cards. And if you own a business and accept credit cards, you know that most companies can take 2 or more days for the funds to end up in their bank account. Many of them have extremely high fees and rates, especially for reward cards and program cards. Parallel economy gets you your money the next business day in your account. Censor-resistant payment processing with no monthly switching and no monthly surcharges. Plus, there's no contract, 24/7 merchant support. No match or beat your current rate as low as 1.49%. Switch to parallel economy today, and you'll learn a lot about value there.
Isaac, let's talk about getting started with MMA. Are you guys just like a small facility? You got a big warehouse? Like, if I wanted to start doing something like that, I still kind of stretch this thing. Like, you like just take anybody, or you're like, hey, you got to have a certain attribute, or
Well, I mean, I used to just take anybody. I mean, I was living there at the building that it was in, and so we just practiced there. But I've practiced all different places. We used to practice at Big Bend. We had our training facility in there. We had it in my garage. It's kind of a transient workout place. So it's like wherever is available, we kind of would make it that. I
So,
never.
so you're going to be doing it at Rick's here soon.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, Rick, can we get this back room on a Thursday?
Sometimes, yeah, if you're not doing cornhole or something, roll out some mats, sign some waivers. I don't want to
Yeah.
out my face again.
Mhm.
I've thought about. So, are you working with this group that just moved in a couple doors down from me?
Ronan, the strength training, what do you call that?
Not Ronan. There's a little building next to me that just got rented out. There's 3 businesses in there. They're doing like massage and accounting and something else. They like these friends got together. Well, the husband of one is like an MMA fighter, and I think he might work with you. I can't remember his name. Sorry, folks. But I gave him a tour of the back room. I'm like, you can do a small fight here. I mean, I can only fit, my 100 people, but I was like, if you wanted to do some practicing or something, I was like, we can set up something and
Kind of stage.
or you'd bring your little arena thing or we'd make something that whatever.
Yeah, put some hay bales and lay down some. No, you know how they do it.
Barbed wire. You can't. No one gets out alive. um, I was like, you could do something here. So this huge racking is Brian. People. And I was like, yeah, could you have like dinner and whatever, meet the fighters, and then they do some stuff or in MMA. And I was like, it's not MMA, WWE. But I mean, my facility is a little small for an event like that. But I mean, if it worked, it worked. Um, I don't know when you charge a ticket. But I mean, it'd be a little like preparatory thing. If you had fighters that are like, I've never fought before, we're like, well, let's get you in a small ring before we send you to get eaten alive.
That's actually a really good idea. You have a little practice training ground to prove that you have what it takes.
Maybe. I don't know what you charge, $20 a ticket. It was just a training thing. And
yeah.
To the audience, it'll look like a real fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want. But then on the backside, it's like, hey, we got, just get in there, do the best you can, take your beatings.
Mm-hmm. You do headgear, you can do shin pads. So it would be just like an exhibition. That's what it would be. You can
shin pads and headgear. Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it keeps it safe. But yeah, it'd be a starting point. I mean, I don't know what Moses Lake wants to see, but they might be interested in that. But if you sell 1,500 tickets, and I don't know how you guys raise money for what you do, but if people are paying, I don't know when you charge, and we sell tables and whatever and VIP stuff, and maybe you're like, hey, we made $500 for the group.
Yeah.
Now we can, I don't know, however you need to use that money. We need more gear.
Yeah, that's what it does. I mean, every donation that I get or every fight that we put on, we just put it back into getting gear and guys going to fights and, just different things that they need. Because when we go to a fight, we don't have medical. I'm sorry about that.
Turn on to you sign up, you're like, do you have insurance? Good insurance. You're going to have some bruises.
Yes, that's for sure.
You're going to feel some pain. People like pain. I don't know what it is about pain, but like,
I'm in pain right now.
What do they call it? Like, I'm guilty of this. Like, I got a bolt in my kneecap when I was a kid, and the blood was squirting out. Oh my gosh, I had to do stitches inside and outside. Up in here, and and I would not stop playing with it. I'd press it, and it hurts. What's my tolerance? Push on this thing. Yeah, that hurts, and back off, and I'll be right back on it, like torturing myself. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I need counseling.
I think
I was like, but I have found that we are tougher than we think we are.
Yeah, do you do counseling too? Rick might need your services.
Yeah, I consider myself a mind coach.
I'm a mind coach. But I noticed like we're tougher than we think we are. And I think sometimes pushing the limits, and for some people it might be small, pretty tough. And then for some people that are used to feeling that pain, they can push it farther. It's a weird thing. Um, you can break I guess, what humanity can do. I mean, look what people are running these days, a mile. What's the record right now? Is it 3 minutes? I mean, what is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I'm like, they're fast. Like, I'm coming in at 5 something, and these guys are like, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever.
Here, ask Isaac how many kids he's raised.
You might dare you would ask him.
He's got experience, that's for sure, right?
Yeah. But I think you're absolutely right. I think pain allows us to know that we're alive. Without pain, you don't feel alive. And you get into these states where, you hear people that are numb, you know, they can't feel anything. And then they want that pain just to feel alive. And so I know that a lot of fighters are going through a lot of stuff. And when I talk with them and stuff, there's a lot of emotional stuff that they're going through. There's a lot of life stuff that they're going through. And when they get hit in that cage and they get hit, it's like they feel like, oh, I'm alive. And you'll hear someone that'll say, I only feel alive when I'm in the cage. And it's that pain.
That pain, the nervousness, the butterflies, like there's a variety of emotions that come over you when you put yourself on the line. You're like, they're filming this. No one's going to see me. And I don't want to fail on camera. It's one thing when you're messing around with your friends, you're like, oh, arm, tap out, but when I guess the more you put on the line, the more skin in the game you have, and it does make you feel like, and it's like, and there's a variety of stuff, like I'm kind of I wouldn't call it an adrenaline junkie, but I am, I have this appetite that's unsatisfiable that I have to, um, you need something new and exciting. And it could be physical, it could be a mental idea that gives me like some type of stimulation, but my mind will consume that new idea. And it's kind of like an adrenaline junkie, but I don't have to jump out of airplanes to get it. It could be an idea or concept. It could be something physical, but like there's a variety of stimulus in the world. Um, but there are people that get addicted to that because you feel alive when you put it on. Yeah, it's crazy. And a lot of good fighters, what's their background growing up? They've had tough lives, got a lot of pent up energy, and it's a form of expression. It's like, it's my. Did you notice, this is a tangent too, and I've noticed this in the military, when you deal with a lot of, I guess, certain type of trauma, um, you can be wired backwards where sometimes your peace is in the chaos, and then in the peace you're like having like a panic attack. Do you notice that with any of your fighters?
I've noticed that in a lot of fighters. And like I said, I think that in our gym, it's a brotherhood. So it gives us that ability that us as guys and men can come and talk about some of our problems. We'll sit down on the mats and after a practice because you're all wore out and all the emotions and everything. And we'll talk about life and we'll talk about the situations that are going on, whether it's with our families, whether it's with our kids, whether it's with school, and everybody has something going on. But us men don't have a lot of people to talk to. Mm-hmm. Unless you got a good friend, and sometimes you have good friends and they just like to joke back and forth, But a real someone to sit there and listen to your problem and what you're going through, I think that's what this gym has produced. That the guys can come and be open and honest and know that they're not going to be judged and that they can cry, that they can, just say, I don't have what it takes, but what do I have to do? And then getting that little bit of reinforcement from me or other fighters gives them that ability to make a step to the next level, emotionally and physically.
Yeah, I mean, I can really only from like the military side because I mean everybody has different backgrounds or whatever. But like I noticed like uh, when I was going into Iraq, we're going into a hot spot, and there were 10 of us going in for an undetermined amount of time, and so we're leaving our group of a couple hundred guys. So we're going in, and any question I asked, they didn't have an answer for. So I'm like, "Where's my food coming from?" Like what happens when I sleeping? Like, don't worry about it. Like, okay, so I'm going in this place, and we're on the Syrian border in Iraq, and we're like, if ISIS crosses the border, they're ISIS, and if they push them into Syria, then they're freedom fighters. So we're like, it's just this confusing thing. Um, but anyway, we get bombed or run around in gun trucks and do stuff, and it was like the Wild West. But I noticed that I made a mental choice to feel nothing. And as you make these choices, there's a cost, and I noticed that when the chaos was happening, I would be at peace. Like, I'm like, it doesn't matter if I live or die, I can do this. And so I didn't have any of those worries. Um, so it was just a coping mechanism. But I noticed when I came back that my heart had been like iced, been like and I noticed that it, if I found peace, I'd be like panicking, like kid would be crying, I'd be like, oh my god, get me out of here, like I can't handle this kid crying, you know. I'd rather have things fired at me than listen to this kid cry right now. Like, and I could go take a walk, but it didn't fix it. It was just something to do to buy time while I could like settle down. And so I was having these like panic attacks, like in peace where I'm safe. But then you go out in the chaos, and you'd be like, oh, steady breath, trigger squeeze, no problem. Like, it was really weird, and it took several years for me to like adjust. And I don't. Now I don't know what everyone's background is. Some people grow up in households that are pretty rough, and they probably have this stuff going on with them. But we all make choices, and we have to deal with that. But yeah, it was interesting for me. I think that book American Sniper, he talked about it. He'll be like, in the chaos, he can just sit there and breathe, the trigger squeeze, but he'd go home and his birthday party, and he's like, and I was like, yeah, I can relate to that, to a certain degree. Now I wasn't, doing cool stuff like that, but like, we all make decisions in life, and there's a cost. And so like I made a decision, and there was a cost to that. Like I'm kind of a sensitive person, and so I think that decision to be ice, was just a coping thing for me. Because like I'm like, there's no place for emotions in that. So anyway, PhD lecture over. So
Yeah, no, that's really good. And like you said, it's finding ourselves in what are our triggers, what is making our mind feel that chaos, because you had that switch. So when you're in the calm, you're storming yourself to try and make yourself get back to that storm where you feel calm. That's
yeah, a lot of guys can't get out. Like the sniper guys, they're like they can't. It's like they have to go back and get back there because that's like their zen, you know. But like their home life is just chaos, and like it's super crazy the way people are, and you can't. It's everyone has their own story, their own path, and if you're in pain, you still have to walk that path alone. Your friends and family buy you a distraction in time while you can adjust or re-see it in a new way or make a new meaning out of it. But the journey is lonely, and you can be around 1,000 people and be lonely, and it's crazy. It's crazy to see. And I think your group of guys, yeah, as you wrestle with each other, the interaction is bonding. You know, you're trusting the guy to when he arm bars you not to break it. You know, you're like, you know, there's trust, and you guys become brothers. And sometimes do you guys have to fight each other in the games too? Um,
We haven't had to do that, but you see up in the
it's
UFC level that they make teammates fight against each other if someone's holding the belt or something.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
that,
tough. That's tough.
that would be really tough.
Yeah, that's tough because you're like, oh boy, you know, that's crazy. Um, what else we got going on, boys? I think we've so so you're selective about who you bring on to the group now. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, so I've gotten selective now just for the fact that I mean I still do my anti-bullying. I help any kid that wants anti-bullying training. Parents just get a hold of me online and I take care of that. As far as fighters, I'm looking for ones that want to fight. You know, there's a lot of guys that want to train to fight, but there's not a lot of guys that want to actually fight. And, you know, with as much time as I have to put into them and take away from my family, I
Yeah,
need to make sure that it's worth it and that, you know, that they want to push this as a career more than just taking pictures on Instagram and saying they're a fighter.
that's what.
My tap out shirt.
Yeah, my dad. That, yeah, I think like if I was to do it, I'd be like, I just want to train. I'm like 50. You know, it's like, no, Rick, you're a has been. Retire, deny, yeah.
No, like I said, guys can come in and train,
But to get your
but
undivided
yes, to
attention.
get my attention, that I will hold pads for you, that I will go to the events for you, that you know I'm taking time out of my life for you. I need to make sure you're committed.
Going. That makes more sense. So anybody can train. If you're going to take it to the next level, Isaac will single you out and get you in the play with the big boys.
Yes.
Very good. How do we contact you, Isaac? And then we'll wrap this up.
So I have my Facebook, Isaac Jones. I have my Instagrams, Sacred Scars MMA. And I think I might have changed one to I forgot what my other one is. But then I got my fishing channel, Sacred Scars
Link is on
Fishing.
the show too.
Yeah, so if you guys would like to give me a like and a subscribe, it's free. And you can follow my fishing stuff.
Awesome. Well, thanks for what you do in the community. A lot of men need an outlet. So if you're just looking to train, looking to fight, or you got fishing, kids that have bullying problems, Isaac's your man. Thanks for what you do in our community. This is the Rick Sicken Show. I am Rick, your host. We got Donnie running the tech and Isaac, our guest. We're signing out.